So who wants to make Brooks cut everything?
Well, he has to cut everything regardless.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Brooks and Zach 100 Years Podcast. Very, very tired episode of the Brooks and Zach 100 Years Podcast. I'm Brooks.
I'm Liam.
That's Zach, who just said he's Liam. There's
I'm
Josh
Brooks.
over there saying he's
fucking
Brooks.
doing my thing.
There's,
I had a thing.
And then finally there's our friend Liam right there. Yeah.
So sick.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to sleep outside and not in the inn.
Well, I like the way the mud feels on my back while I'm sleeping. It
Yeah,
reminds
he's
me
Gob Central. What part of Troll do you not understand?
What the fuck did you say? What the fuck did
You,
what
when
the
we
fuck
lived
you
together, you told me that in confidence.
Josh, I don't need you being problematic on our show.
I didn't start anything.
All
You know
right,
what?
let's just
Let's
move
just
on.
move.
He didn't mean it.
Yeah. He's just
We lived with each other.
he-
I told you.
he
things.
just doesn't know better.
I told you things.
Yeah, whatever, man.
We have so much
Anyway.
control.
So
on
you
the
got the
show.
map right, Brooks. Where are we going?
Okay, so by judging by the map here, we left the inn, and now we're going to be going up the road to this town over here. The name is kind of faded, but logically, if we're looking for Matt, it's going to be the next place we want to go.
You beat the shit out of the map just so it picks up.
Look, they need to know that we're actually holding a map.
We are holding a map. It's right here.
No, that's the only map we have.
It's my map!
God, he's so self-destructive.
I think he's just destructive, period.
Yeah.
Self-destructive, yes, but
Yeah.
just in general, a destructive human.
If we just go up this road for about a day or two, we should get to that town, and that'll be our next logical step in trying to find Matt.
I hope
Wait,
Val Kilmer's
what-
there as well.
Well, yes, we all hope that, Zach.
I just
But-
recently found out who Val Kilmer is.
Yeah,
That's
we had this conversation before we started recording where we were just talking about stuff, and Zach is just like, Val Kilmer? And Josh and I looked at him like, what?
Val Kilmer. I hardly know her.
What? Are you drunk?
This
Well,
gonna
I'm on a
be
new medicine.
this
That's
gonna
all.
be a shit show.
I got a bunch of Tylenol. Hopefully it'll kick in soon.
Tylenol PM or Tylenol regular.
Tylenol severe cold and flu.
This podcast is brought to you
By Tylenol.
by Xanax.
Oh.
Xanax,
Here's
please give us money. We need it for all the Tylenol.
Well,
We just
We'll
I need
take
it
as
for all
much
the
Xanax
Xanax.
on this show just so you pay us. We'll crush that shit up and snort it, man.
You'll crush that shit up and snort.
Well, I'll make
We'll
Liam
watch
do
it.
it.
yeah.
Liam, Mike, would you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I farted.
What?
Do you mean like right now or in general? Because you farted on the show
Alright, so
before.
this has been awful. Let's just take it from the top again? Yeah, alright. Welcome to the Brooks and Zach 100 Years
Hard
Podcast.
restart.
Hang on.
I'm Brooks. That over there is Zach. That's Josh.
There we go.
We
And
need a
there's
solid topic in order to keep us
Yeah.
on point and focused.
Well, guys, it's only natural that we talk about Katana Gotri, episode 2. What the fuck are we doing?
Okay.
Liam's
What?
like,
I mean, we got Liam now. We can use Liam.
Yeah,
for
we
shit.
can use Liam. We can use his writing and voice
Yeah,
expertise.
here, do a voice.
yeah,
Go.
we can use his voice.
A+, there it is.
Brooks, what did
Write
you
that
just say?
down. Write that down.
Brooks, can you just repeat what you just said? Yeah, we can use his voicing expertise.
I'm gonna kick your ass.
For those who don't know, Liam wrote a play that Zach was in, that Zach had some opinions on.
My
Is
opinion.
Lennon
and
McCartney
Zach-
gonna fight right now?
And Zach being Zach,
Can at
he
least
shared
he be
those
Lennon?
opinions.
Because I think Lennon's an asshole.
Sure. What-
John Lennon?
Whatever
Yeah.
makes you
Or
happier.
is there another Lennon?
Well, there was Vladimir Lenin, but
Yeah.
that's not who we're talking about.
Paul McCartney and Vladimir Lenin got in a
Yeah.
fight. all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vladimir Lenin.
No,
Okay. Is that Vladimir
It's the will of the people, Paul. Now shut the fuck up.
Cat wanted to
So
destroy
Vladimir Impaler was
capitalism,
pretty
and
cool.
Paul McCartney just
No, he
wants to
wasn't.
write
Wasn't
love
he?
songs.
I mean, not who he was, but what he did.
Who, Vladimir
Stop
Lenin or
talking.
John
Oh,
Lennon?
okay.
No, Vlad the Impaler.
Vlad the Impaler.
There's so many layers.
This podcast is just layer upon layer. It's got so many details of lore inside.
I'm going
It's like
to...
an onion.
Yes.
No, because
It still made me happy, so that
What,
comment
Shrek?
was... No. There was a friend of mine... Zach and I went to a show that a friend of mine was in, and he came up to us, and he's just like, "Is that Brooks and Zach of the Brooks and Zach podcast?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh.
And he's like, "Man, I like it, but I try to get into it, and there's just so much lore. You're like talking to a goblin or something. I don't even know." Listeners,
Well,
if
that's like-
I decide to start it right here, we are not quite feeling it today,
Yeah.
and we've had a few starts and stops to the podcast. So now we're just we had a plan. I don't even know if we're gonna still be doing that or just be like kind of bullshitting the entire time. We'll see what happens.
And I'm totally not on Tinder right now.
All right.
You know what's funny? I always find friends on here, and I always swipe right. Cause like,
Just friends
yeah,
on
yeah,
Tinder?
no,
That's
friend-
kind of sad.
no, friends in like real life who are on Tinder.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I'm
You
like,
meant like,
Just like,
no,
I know
people
what
I
you're
already
trying
hit
to
on
do.
Tinder.
yeah, you just meet them
and
on
they
Tinder.
unmatch me, and I find them again, and I'm like, oh.
No, it's like you're matching with all of them on Tinder, and you're like really getting into them. You're getting to know them and everything.
Actually, can I have one of those?
Don't cut that. I'm just using words that I heard on the Tinder, Tumblr,
On the Tinder
Tap Out.
What person is speaking so elegantly on Tap Out?
Joe Rogan.
I just pictured him with like a suit and a monocle.
I once bought a Tap Out shirt. Hold on, shut the fuck up.
Did you live in a trailer park and hate
That's
your
not
parents?
that's not the funniest part. I bought a Tap Out shirt because I saw it in the store and I thought it was a Punisher shirt.
Oh,
And it had
'cause
the
of the
skull on it.
Yeah.
And then by the time I bought it, I saw it said Tap Out on the back. I'm like, well, that's dumb.
I
Even better, I realized it had sparkles on it.
have a question. What is tap out?
It's like
You stupid idiot.
It's
Guys,
like
tell them what tap out is. We all know. We all
no,
know.
I'll let you
Okay,
take it.
no.
Yeah, Zach, why don't you tell me what tap out is? Why don't you explain it to the class?
We see the fitness brand pacer test is a multi.
No, Tap Out's like it's like isn't it like a contest in the WWE or some shit?
No, Tap Out is
I know it has something to do with fighting.
it's a brand for MMA.
Oh, okay.
And back in like the early 2000s, it was just the biggest douche brand. Like it was a T-shirt brand,
Yeah.
and only douchebags wore Tap Outs.
I had a lot
Is
of
that why
friends
you
who
wanted
were
it?
on that side.
I thought it was a
who wore
Punisher
Tap
shirt. I
Out.
didn't know it was Tap Out. Like the comic Punisher. The guy that kills people.
Oh.
You uncultured swine.
You.
No, I'm sorry. I just really love that insult. I call my
So-
girlfriend. He's
so-
crying.
So as
Welcome to the Brooks.
We
again.
can't keep starting it.
Oh, your voice cracked. Gotta start it again.
We can't
Welcome,
keep
welcome.
starting.
Is it, who else is here to excited for Stand Against Evil?
I'm
The total like knockoff. Of
I'm not going to watch it,
Ash
but I'm
versus Evil
glad.
Dead.
I'm excited that it exists because it means Ash versus Evil Dead is successful.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
now it's getting
When-
ripped
When
off.
the
Successful
ripoffs
as hell.
come.
Yeah. So
Have you
that
guys
makes
seen
me
it
happy.
yet?
I haven't watched
No,
it.
I have not.
It adds so much story and like lore to the Evil
Ooh.
Dead series.
Oh,
It's
that's
so
great.
Fun. It's so swell.
Does he
More
meet
into
with
the
the
Evil in
professor
store.
character where like he finds
What?
the recording?
Huh?
Like remember like the professor guy when he goes to the house and he finds the recording?
Yeah.
Is he in the show? Like is he ever like really explained more?
No, because he's pretty much explained in the second and third movie.
Yeah.
Like,
I just thought they'd break. No, I just thought.
I mean, it's
You thought
It's just
wrong.
my dad plays his character. You know, I just thought he'd get his face here. Let's go over here.
they touched on it more.
I didn't know how to finish that sentence, so I just did a bit.
He was just knocking things
You know,
around.
I
in
think
his
that
inn
kind of
that we're
accurately
hanging
sums
out.
up the whole podcast.
I didn't know how to finish that sentence, so I just did a bit.
I think that describes our lives.
Yeah.
Quality
That's
entertainment.
something I wanted to ask on air.
What?
Yeah.
Did anybody find out what the Chaos guy was?
Not
No.
yet.
Has he said anything more?
He is yet to take the bait of the latest episode.
So my guess it was just somebody trolling real quick.
It could have been.
Sure.
Were all the comments within one like quick streak?
No.
No, they were like.
They were over the
separate
period
dates.
of like over a month,
What
actually.
the fuck?
Yeah.
So it's some
Why did it
deep
take you so
trolling.
long to realize it, Brooks?
no.
I could have been on his case since day one.
I knew about it. I just didn't know if it was like.
We didn't know if it was a crisis.
I was thinking the exact
It's like the
same
Flint
thing
water
as Liam.
crisis.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing as Liam. As like maybe this is just a one-off
I
troll
believe
type
this is a
thing.
pubic hair I just found on me.
What?
Was it in your
Is-
pants?
Is it yours?
No.
Is it long?
No.
Is it short?
It's in between.
Oh, so it's medium.
I'm just gonna place it.
No. Oh God.
He's like, oh, to my mouth.
Oh God. Anyway.
My life is a disaster.
Are you also doing No Shave November, Brooks?
No. I'm gonna
Oh.
just shave.
Oh, okay.
Actually.
Yeah.
Are you doing it?
No.
He I mean,
Can't.
he does
I
it
mean,
all
no,
the time.
I am.
He
right?
does-
I've been doing it since 2014.
If you see real lightly.
a little soul patch, it's a flavor saver.
Oh,
What?
speaking of facial hair and stuff, is there anybody in our age group who can pull off a mustache? Just a mustache?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Because
If I could grow one, I definitely could. I'd look sexy as hell with a mustache.
I'm picturing
I
all of us
don't
with
know about
mustaches,
that.
and we all just look like rapists.
no, you see, I don't think anybody under the age of 30 can pull off a mustache.
I don't know. Is there anyone like famous now who's got just a mustache and they look great?
Sam Elliott, but he's
I'm
older.
going to look that up.
That's that's true.
The mustache.
But that's because he's got that huge handlebar thing, and he's like, it's like a rough guy.
He's got a southern accent.
Yeah. So it's like it kind of makes sense. But like, could you imagine like?
Tom Hanks with a mustache.
Oh,
But he's older.
yeah.
true.
Yeah, someone younger.
Describe your craziest injury. There's a good one.
Giovanni
Craziest
Ribisi.
injury?
Probably this on my finger.
What
know
happened
that
there?
story.
I don't know that story.
I think I said it on the podcast once.
I don't think you did.
I don't remember this.
Like, I think it was like the first time I was on here. All right, so when I was in 7th grade, back in Nam,
Fucking nom.
back when I was dropping bombs in Cambodia.
You weren't supposed to be in Cambodia.
Oh my God, Nick's is gonna be pissed. History jokes. So I was like, it was 7th grade, I think, and like my neighbor, he's a good guy. Doesn't make some of the best decisions in the world. He needed money, so he broke into our house and stole some shit. So like, he stole like a bunch of my guitar stuff that was in the garage. And,
Time
like,
out. Did you say he was a good guy?
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He's just
He
fell on
robbed you.
Look, let me finish the story. So, me being an idiot, however old I was like, oh man, he's gonna come back, like, he's gone crazy, he's gonna come back, he's gonna kill me. So I went into my dad's office, I got his big, like, old, like, Boy Scout hunting knife, and I took one of my mom's stuffed animals she had as a kid, and I practiced stabbing it, like, as in self-defense, and I was like, oh, I think I missed. I just nicked myself, and I saw, like, there was just, like, this cut on my finger, and I was like, oh, too bad. And I bent it, and I could see my bone, and that's when I immediately started panicking, and blood got everywhere, and I, like, just imagine me, still small and fat with a little bit of facial hair, like, with much longer hair. Like, remember how you met me?
Yeah.
Down here.
How I met your trash garbage.
Oh, it was not a good time for anybody.
Me running around screaming, and like my parents weren't even home, so I called them, and I'm like crying because like I think I'm gonna die. Not the brightest one. And so I'm like, Mom, I fucked up, and then I went to go get stitches, and they injected me with like Novocaine or whatever the fuck, and that it hurt even more, the injection.
Yeah.
I cried in front of a lot of nurses. I made those girls their day. And then like I got the stitches, and then a week later he returned the stuff, and because he felt really bad, and I was like, oh.
All right.
So that's that story.
That prompted a story for me. Since it is flu season, and
Yeah.
I do work in a pharmacy, so like a lot of kids come in to get their flu shots and everything. Like, yeah.
Wait, did you guys
gotta-
get your flu shots?
Yeah.
I did. Did you get yours?
I have not gotten
You didn't
one
get
yet.
your flu shot.
You didn't
man?
get your flu shot. Did you get your flu shot? You guys
Do you
got
think
flu
that's
shot.
why you
I was
get it every
actually
time
going to
around
go
the season?
yesterday with my
That's
older
what they all
sister.
say.
I get a sinus
But she
infection.
got
My
really
throat feels
sick.
But I don't want to
So-
get autism.
Oh, okay. No, but anyway,
I'm just lazy.
there was the pharmacist calls me back, and she's like, "Hey Zach, could you keep this one little kid occupied?" And then I just see a 6-year-old just sitting on a chair, just looking all terrified at everything because his mom's like in the waiting room and stuff. And he's just like, "Hi." I'm like, "You like Pokemon?" He's like, "Yes." So, 10 minutes go by, and I'm talking to this kid. Well, this kid's talking to me about
Glad you
Pokemon.
can connect with someone your own age.
Yeah, I know. And he's just like, do you have this one? And do you have this one? I'm like, yeah, but what about... And then he interrupts me, and I'm like, all right, I keep forgetting. This is how 6- and 7-year-olds talk. I'll just let him keep going. I'm like, yeah, And then all of a sudden, from behind the door, which is like one of those frosted glass windows, so if somebody touches it, you can see, you hear, like, the kid is screaming.
The hands
like,
make an imprint and like slide down.
They did, and I'm like, and then I look at the kid, and he looks, he's like, my brother's screaming a lot. I'm like, yeah, he is, bud. Why do you think he's screaming? He's like, I think he's just a baby. I'm like, is he your older or younger brother? He's like, oh, he's 10. I'm like, He's 10? Oh, he's at, it doesn't even hurt a little bit. He's like, it doesn't? I'm like, no. You ever gotten flicked before? He's like, yeah. I'm like, that's what it is. He's like, why is he acting like a... No! Like, again?
He's getting, like, dragged away like it's an alien.
And I'm not kidding. This went on for, like, variations of me talking to him and the kid freaking out. It happened for 45 minutes.
Jesus
I was talking to this kid
Christ.
about why prices were the way they are. Like, he's like, why is cereal $2?
So you just get inflation.
Like, this kid was just like, do you like, like, he would just...
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, just come on, say words. He's like, so I got a pool party at my house. You have to go down the street and then you make a right. And then he's just giving me directions to his house.
And Zach's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And like,
will there be Pokemon?
I'm like, bud, you can't tell me the directions to your house. I'm
he
writing
says
my-
as he writes it down.
Yeah. But pretty much at the end of all of it,
This is when he invites us to a pool party.
Then finally the door opens and the pharmacist comes out and she gives me a look like, I lost. Like, I give her a confused look, and then the kid comes out crying like, "Ugh!" He falls to his knees and cries like he was just tortured.
Looking like fucking Hellraiser.
Yeah,
Pinhead.
No, he just cries like, "Ugh, ugh," and like the little kid still just goes like, why? I'm like, I don't know why he's acting
Why?
out.
There
Johnny,
must
why
be so
you
much
acting?
pain.
Why you acting like this?
And
What are
then-
you doing?
And then the mom comes
Why?
out, and then as soon as everybody's gone, I'm like, bye, buddy. He's like, bye. I'll show you my Pokemon cards. I'm like, okay. I didn't want to be that close to a 6-year-old. Like, I shouldn't have enjoyed the conversations we had as much as we did.
Yeah, man.
But
Well, now you have a lifelong friend.
yeah,
The last person I talked to.
So are we going to the pool party or what?
the last
In November.
the last person I talked to about Godzilla, like as if we were two fans, was a child.
that makes
At coincidentally a pool party. I'm not even fucking kidding you.
Creepy.
My friend Casey, she had like a pool party, and
Whatever.
her like whole family was there. And this was like back when the new Godzilla was coming out, and like they were like, "We're gonna see the new Godzilla," and I was like, "Yeah!" And I was like, "These are the only people I can relate to."
Oh, I don't know why.
So I
but
feel your pain.
kid stories keep coming up.
All right.
But-
Well, my injury story, because
Okay,
I
yeah,
want to
go
tell
ahead.
this.
We'll
Yeah.
swing back around to your kid
Okay,
story.
cool.
Because I want to.
Yeah, you need an injury story and a kid story.
I have an injury story. I'll have to think of a kid
I got two injury stories
yeah,
for you. First of all, I will do it in order. But I have a cracked orbital in my skull, like right here.
Jesus.
My skull, like you guys know about
Yeah.
this.
I
I haven't
don't.
talked about it on the podcast, but right here is cracked.
Okay.
Inner part of his left eye.
The inner part
I
of my
can
left
sort of
eye.
see it. Yeah, I can see the line.
It's up here.
Then what is that?
That's just a
Me
Me
scar.
being
isn't it?
I don't know.
Oh no, I think it's just the impression from your glasses.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's your glasses.
Anyway,
Because he was just like inside part of my left eye, and
here.
then I saw a line right
top
there.
left.
Anyway, go ahead. Lee.
Anyway, when I was 18, I went to a concert.
A rave.
And it was like a hardcore concert.
So it was a mosh pit.
Yeah, there was a.
They were raving
Okay,
pretty
yeah. So
hard.
cut to, and there was a mosh pit I was in, and I was going hard on the motherfucking paint, and other people were going hard on the motherfucking paint, and then I feel this jolt in my head, like I get pushed back, and like there's a severe pain in my eye, and I can't really open it. And then all these people rush to me like, "Oh my god, are you okay? Oh my god, what's up?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. What happened?" They're like, "Oh," I couldn't hear what happened. I was like, "Whatever, I'm gonna get some ice. This shit hurts." So I got some ice because that shit hurt. And then
Master storyteller.
and then
Can you have non-copyright like rave music going on over Liam's story?
while I was watching the show, I noticed that my nose hurt. Like it doesn't really hurt as much as my eye that was aching and I couldn't open it, but it was like it felt like there was something shoved up my nose.
Oh.
It felt weird. So I went down to the bathroom. It was like 2 stories, and the bathroom was on the bottom story by the bar or whatever. So I went into the bathroom, looking in the mirror, and I'm like, "Wow, that's a black eye. That's a black eye right there. That hurts." So I went to the stall, and I blew my nose, and I felt my eye go and like explode, and I was like, "That's bad. That's real bad."
That's what you said. Your reflection in the mirror, like, "That's bad."
No,
It's
then
not good.
I looked in the mirror. And I looked at my eye, and it looked like the whites of my eyes were about to pour out into my face.
Oh.
Like the eye itself was like swollen. It was disgusting. So I go to the barman, and I'm like, "Hey, barman, is there some kind of because I know concerts do this, especially metal ones. Is there a first aid man nearby?" And he goes, "Why?" Like looking at my eye, like you're a pussy. Stop freaking out. And I'm like, "Because of this." And I pull back my eyelid, and he sees that my eye's like juicing out, and he goes, "Oh, yeah, back there."
Why would the first question be why?
Because he's an asshole.
Yeah, you gotta go.
So
to hardcore shows.
I talked to a first aid guy, and he's like, "Wow, that's bad. What I'm worried about is it could be two things: your eye reacting to the injury and just being swollen and being a little bitch, or your eye could actually be damaged and like the whites could like pour out. So I'm gonna call the ambulance, and you're gonna go to the hospital." And I'm like, "Cool." So I sat in the hospital for 8 hours, missed the entire show, and they're like, "You just broke your face, friend. Your eye's gonna be okay." And I'm like, "Well, that's fucking cool." I'll send you a picture of it, and you can use it for a thumbnail.
was
Or
the
something.
show?
I don't want a picture of it.
I'll send you the picture.
I
I
don't
want
want
to see
it.
the picture.
It
You
was
can send
the
it to
All-Star
Josh.
Tour, and the only two bands I wanted to see played the very last. It was Every Time I Die and Straight from the Path.
Yeah, those are definitely hardcore show names.
And
those are absolutely what those are.
anyway, a couple months later, a couple of years later, everything's all healed up except for the fact that I still have the crack in my eye and I need to get surgery. But I was at a Magic the Gathering tournament because I used to play that, and
Used to.
those games, it's weird because it's either people that are just playing it for fun, and a lot of like metal fans play it because it's like fantasy and there's Vikings and it's fucking metal, and then everybody else is an asshole that like flip the table when they lose. Anyway, I was talking to a kid that was wearing a T-shirt from the show, and I'm like, "Oh hey man, I went to that show," and he was like, "Oh yeah, Every Time I Die was fucking dope," and I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't get to see him," and he goes, "What? Why?" I'm like, "I had to go to the hospital." He's like, "Oh shit, that was you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yo, dude, you got hit pretty hard." I'm like, "Yeah, somebody punched me in the face or something." He's like, No. You got roundhouse kicked."
What?
And I went, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, dude, the dude kicked you in the face." Like, heel to eye. It was crazy. I'm surprised you didn't get knocked out.
No, you know what's amazing about all that? I know people who talk exactly like that, so I just imagine all of them telling like, "Yo, dude, you got a roundhouse kick."
Yeah, no, this kid was excited. He's like, "How did you
that's
how
what
did you not pass out?" And I'm like,
"Yo, dude, you were like dead."
We watched you. Your heart stopped.
Exactly.
Man. You were hooked up and everything.
I was really drunk, but like, still, I saw
There
it.
was so much blood that came out of you, man. It was like more than the human body can hold came out.
Yeah, exactly.
second injury story.
Oh, you got another one?
I got another
Okay,
one.
good.
And then Brooks can tell his stories.
No, like mine
can
is
talk about
not
the story.
nearly as good or elaborate, so I'm glad you. Yeah.
I put a drill into my finger.
Oh,
So, as
What?
we know, Liam is a carpenter.
Did you ever get
I
that drill back?
didn't know you were a carpenter.
No.
Are you G-Bus?
it's fucking...
Okay.
Yes,
just curious.
actually.
Okay.
But, yeah, it was... I'm a carpenter at the college for theater stuff. I'm a
okay.
theater
so
technician.
you do sets and shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was building a set for show The Giver, and there was this... I was using a gun that was kind of janky, but I always used it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to get a screw into a piece of wood that was being really tough and annoying, and the drill kept starting and stopping, even though the battery was fine. Whatever. We all know I am not the most patient human being.
You are not.
You are definitely
I'm
not.
learning a lot about you, Liam.
So what I did is I'm trying to figure out, because I'm right-handed, but the injury's on my right hand. It's all a blur.
You're not the most
You
patient.
were feeling
Bob
lucky. You're like,
Sancho.
I'll just do it with my left hand.
No, yeah, okay. So it was down low, and there was like a weird leg. So I'm holding the wood with my right hand, the screw and the gun, and once it started going in a little bit, I moved my hand just to like get some pressure. I had my hand under the wood, and I was pulling. I was pulling towards me, and I was pushing with my left hand because I was pissed and I was angry. And it was going, and like the motor was turning, and the screw was going real slow, and then it stopped, and I pushed harder because I was pissed, and then it jerked off and spun really fast, like faster than normal.
Yeah.
And this wasn't a twist bit. This was a Phillips head bit. So it didn't cut anything. It just hit my finger, spun, and smashed.
Oh.
And it's like,
So I dropped it. Blood was all over my hand and on the ground, and I just went, fuck! And so I not like stormed off, but I very angrily walked to the bathroom to just like wash it off and see what it was. Apparently, to other people that were there, all they heard was like the drill go crazy, me scream fuck, and then there was just a trail of blood.
What a mystery.
like the Riandu twins,
Yeah.
they were in there, and like Amanda's, or one of them still talks about like how fucking crazy it was. So I'm in the bathroom, and my hand's all bloody, and I'm washing it off, like, oh, this fucking hurts, I'm so angry, why is my life
I'm
awful?
so metal as fuck. Literally, because there's metal in my hand.
It was. But, and then, like, I'm just like, alright, fuck, it's a cut. I'll put some paper towel on it or Band-Aid or whatever. I don't like hospitals. Fuck hospitals. They'll be sitting there for 8 hours like they did with my eye. It'll be shitty. I hate it. So I covered it up, and I'm like, I'm going to go back to work. And I didn't go back to work because I looked at it real quick, and I noticed, like, white shit was popping out.
Yeah.
Like, not my bone, but, like, a white fleshy substance. And I'm like, that's bad.
Yeah.
That ain't good.
So I found
I wouldn't describe it as
my
good,
old
I'd
boss
describe
and
it as
a good man, Steven Stroh-Snyder. And I'm
good.
like,
Oh, yeah.
hey, I think
Hire him.
I should see someone about this. And he goes, yeah. So he's like, that's bad. We'll get security. We'll write up a report, whatever. And he's like, Liam, go to the doctor, go home. And I'm like, but I can work. And he's like, fuck off. Go see someone about that. So I called my doctor. He's like, no, I cannot see you today. And then
go to the emergency room.
And then I went to urgent care. And I got my finger covered and everything. And they're like, what do you need? And I'm like, this. And they're like, gross.
We don't want that. Get that out of here.
Let me get the doctor. Doctor, see this. What's that? Oh, gross. Alright, get in the gross room.
Get in the gross room. We gotta do gross stuff.
He's like, here's your prescription. Throws a pill bottle at you, just says gross on it.
Like, how do I take
All
this?
the-
Like, it's pretty gross.
all the pills have like a little G on them.
You take one, you're like, oh, gross.
He's just like, how would you describe that experience? It's pretty gross.
So a bunch of insurance
That's our
shit
healthcare
happens.
system.
A bunch of insurance shit happens. I'm like, can I just please see a doctor? This hurts really bad. She's like, yeah. And then I see the doctor. And she's fucking, like, it's urgent care. So she's probably seen, like, 20 people in that day.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, all right, let me see it. Okay, I'm going to give you a shot. It's going to feel funny. This is probably going to hurt more than the actual injury. And it was, like, the painkiller you were talking about.
Yeah, because they put it, like, right in
Yeah,
there.
they put it in there. I'm like, ah. And then she shoots the juice in it.
Oh, God.
And I couldn't feel my finger. Like, it was just isolated. I could feel my finger, but I couldn't feel pain, which was weird as hell.
Yeah.
So she starts digging around in there, trying to get out all the metal, and the white shit was a fat tissue that she pulled out.
There must have been a lot of it.
There was a lot of
I
it.
did it, guys.
That's a good
Zach,
friend. Such a
I
good
thought
guy.
the same thing.
So she was digging around in there, and I was laughing. And she was like, "Why are you laughing? This should feel weird." I'm like,
I've
"It
just
does
seen
feel weird. It's weird."
You're
It's
just like,
gross.
because I just saw The Dark Knight, and I'm really impressed by the Joker, and I want to be the Joker now.
But it was so weird. I could feel them inside my finger, and I was
that's
like,
how I felt like
"Ooh."
my stitches. They were just in there.
And then she stitched it up, and I had to wear a little finger thingy for like 2-3 weeks, and I couldn't work.
Do you have a scar from it?
Yeah, you can barely see it because it's on my hand, but there's like a little bubble right there.
Huh.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah, it's that line right there by your eye.
Yeah, I see it.
That's my scar, if anybody wants to know.
Yeah, yours
So-
is a lot more.
Yeah, mine
noticeable.
wasn't as
So you
bad
can
as
identify
yours,
my
but-
body when I die.
Okay.
Well,
He's like,
not
look at
if
all
the
these bodies.
skin's,
Which
like,
one is it?
burnt
He's
off.
like, it's the fat one.
It's the fat one.
Pick up an arm that's 10 feet away from the head that we can clearly see and go, "Oh, it's definitely Josh.
We
She's
got
got
Josh
the
over
finger."
here.
No,
This one's Josh.
What about this part? Picks up the head.
it's the same thing.
Oh,
as
no, there's no cut on it.
It just kind of looks like Penn Jillette. I really
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah. It doesn't have a scar that we can tell that it's Josh
Or
from.
it's the same thing. It's just like a bunch of cops looking around. It's like, this is gross. Yeah.
And I thought he smelled bad on the outside.
It's just like they pick up a severed head and he's like, gross.
Put this in the gross bag.
And he puts it in the evidence bag labeled gross.
Unfortunately,
All right, that joke needs to
my injury story is not nearly as good as any of Liam's, but I'll tell it
Alright,
anyway.
then you'll just cut it if it's
Yeah.
not good.
What's
Yeah.
your story? You injured a kid or something?
When I was really young, like way young, like my family would go around to like after I was born, like apartment building to apartment building, like trying to find a house and everything.
To abandon you,
And-
right? We've all been through it.
And eventually, and eventually we found the house that I'm living in right now. And yeah.
Bonito.
And so the first time, like, because the process for it was, it took they took me and my older sister, because my younger sister wasn't born yet, and they basically took us to this empty little plot of land, and they're just like, our house is gonna be on this eventually. I'm like, cool. And then like they would bring us there like every once in a while to see the progress on the house. So it built up this anticipation of the house, even though it was just gonna be a house. So when it finally was done being built and they're just like, you can go inside and see what's about it now, I was like super stoked. I was like, yeah. And so they let me in. I was running around like full on sprinting because I wanted to see all the place, and my dad was just like, hey, don't be running around, Brooks. I'm like, fuck you, Dad.
Exact words, exact phrasing.
Yeah, that was an exact quote.
Exact kind of voice tone as just like a 7-year-old Brooks.
Yeah, so I'm running around. It was more like probably like 4 or 5, to be honest. But
oh my god.
I only have the sun because the sun is
yeah,
right
the sun is like right there.
Give me the sun.
I knew you were gonna fucking say that, you piece of garbage.
Yeah,
but yeah,
people love it.
so I was running around. I was super excited, and I realized that I'd seen every part of the house except the basement. and so I'm like, I'm gonna go to the basement. And I think for whatever reason, like they were like the tour person was being like showing my other family, like, open the doors, like, and here's the basement, and over here is, and like while like they're like the door is open, I'm running around. I want to see the basement, so I turn a corner, and I trip. I lose my footing at the top of the steps. And I'm in the air, and all I see before me is hard wooden stairs, followed by concrete floor, because nothing has been put down, like, yet. Like, no, like, there was no carpeting, there was no nothing. It was just wood and then concrete. And I had
more the JoJo meme.
And I had the moment in the air where I'm just like, huh. And then it was head hit the step, back hit the step, head hit the step again, like, sort of like, I hit the table, Will, sort of like a shoulder and like crush my arm a bit, and then head on the concrete. I hit my head like 3 or 4 times on the way down.
That's what happened.
And then,
it was...
and then I went, and then everything went black. And then...
Yeah, because you woke up in 2008.
And then I woke up in what was going to be my parents' room on the top floor of the house, and everyone was around me, like, looking at me and everything. I'm like, oh, hey, guys.
So you're having too.
I fell. And then they're just like, yeah, you scared the shit out of us. Because, like, they were worried, like, I was going to have to go to the hospital or something.
They didn't take you to the hospital?
No, they didn't. They didn't.
After you got knocked out at age of 4?
Yeah, man.
I don't
skull's
think...
probably
he's a
not
tough
soft
kid.
at that point.
I don't know if I actually, like, went unconscious. It's just that's when my memory blanked and everything. Like, I was probably, like, still awake. Because if I had passed out, they would have taken me to the hospital.
Your brain
But
cut
I was...
out the profuse crying.
Yeah, I was no doubt... I was a crier. I'm still a crier, but still.
Yeah.
It's just, like, when I was younger, I would cry about physical pain, and now I cry about emotional pain.
Just like an adult.
Yeah. So... like, and then the funny thing is, ever since that day, I have had a lot of trouble remembering things. I am not even joking. But even then, it's like, even like a year ago, there's like, I blank on stuff.
I show up at your house, and you're like, who the fuck are you? I'm like, we've been friends for years. And you're like, that's my house.
As a kid, I've never had injuries like that. It's just when I turned 18, I got kicked in the face and broke my skull.
Yeah.
Like, I had a completely safe childhood, and then
me too.
once I do my own thing, I fucking ruined my life.
Oh, I
just inflicted injuries on other people by accident. When I was younger, can I just tell the
Yeah,
story?
go ahead.
So I live at the bottom of a court. It's like just a complete downhill thing until little, people know.
I've been there.
I know.
All right, keep going.
Okay, fine. God. Anyway.
I did have spinal meningitis, though.
Okay.
Keep going.
So what happened is my neighbors, they were the only kids my age, so it was just the 3 of us. And they both had bikes. I did not have a bike at the time. So like, hey, why don't you just like throw sticks in our bike wheel and like we'll break them? And that's cool. And we were trying to like find a way to pass the time, and maybe they didn't say that. Maybe I just went, I'm gonna do this because I don't have a bike, and it's
That's
probably
just
that
justification.
Yeah, no. So I just first it was like a little twig, and as they went by, I just like threw it in there real quick, and the twig snapped. Like that's awesome. So I just slowly increased like the thickness of the stick, and at one point I was just like, yeah, let me just grab a fistful of sticks. And, like, it was a good, like,
nice fag.
Yeah, nice fag. It was a good fat fag. Anyway, I don't know, like, how big
we're
is that
classy. We're classy here.
How big is that around? I don't know.
Like a
Dick
50-cent
size?
piece.
Yeah, 50-cent piece. I'll go with that.
I like dick size.
Yeah,
better.
dick size. Dick size.
A 50-cent piece dick.
A staff of a stick is what it was.
It's like Gandalf's staff.
Yeah, pretty
Is it
much.
a staff or a shaft?
Oh.
No, but then I just went, yeah, my turn to really mess him up. I'll see if it'll break this one. And so I just remember, for some reason, third person in my memory, watching me go, yeah! And then it went into the bike, went all the way until it hit the metal part, wheel stopped, bike went forward, and then I just see my friend do a front flip onto the asphalt and him go, like his face,
It's like all slow motion. There's like classical music playing.
his face contorting in fear, and me going,
That does remind me of one time I did fall off my bike. I wasn't completely injury free. I was trying to impress a girl, and I had one of those
As we all were.
BMX bikes when I was like 12, and I tried to spin the handlebars, and they went sideways, and I flipped. I was like, "Oh, that hurt!" Like hiding tears, like, "No, this hurt really bad. I'm gonna go home."
That reminds me of two things. The first thing is quick. The other two is also fairly quick. The first one is when I was younger. My parents. This was in the age where I like that. For those who don't know, our friend Matt got us. He got us.
he printed out several pictures of Liam's
It's like
face.
on photo paper.
Just say
too.
what it is,
Yeah,
Brooks.
I was trying to do that.
It's
That's
already like
a
a
hard. That's a
thumbnail
hard
for two
picture
things.
to describe.
Like I looked into its eyes and I was just transfixed. So
that's the meme Liam face.
when I was younger,
Yeah, it is.
my parents got in their head that I was going to be active. This was a time when I would do sports like basketball and baseball.
Like any
and
good
shit.
father does.
And they,
My dad gave me a black eye by throwing a baseball at me, and I was a pussy and went,
Oh,
"Nope."
I've got a ton of shit like thrown at me and like caused it. Not mostly not from my dad. At least I don't remember. It's mostly from the other kids at school.
Well, your
But-
dad was like, "Come on, son."
But
No, don't act like you're
Yeah.
surprised, Liam. Look at him.
I'm not surprised. It's just sad.
Yeah, I guess so.
oh,
I was the kid who was throwing it. but-
Zach hurts my feelings a
I
lot.
was the kid.
But my parents got me for my birthday one year a skateboard with a Spider-Man the
God.
Green Goblin on it. And I'm like, oh, cool, I can start skateboarding.
Hell yeah.
And there was not a single time that I used that skateboard and did not immediately eat shit afterwards. Like, there was, and, like, I did that for, like, a month, and then I'm just like, yeah, no.
Not
and
for
just
me.
kept it in my garage. The second story, I was reminded of this by Zach, that I would also play with neighborhood kids and do stupid shit all the time. And
Yeah,
the
we
way
love
that my neighborhood was set up was that there was this, like, you go along and there's this long road and then a circle next to my house, and in it there used to be this tree, like right in the middle. And my friends and I, we had like a wagon left over from when we were really young, and we would like barely fit in it. And we were just like, we looked at the wagon, we looked at the tree, and we're like, guys, I've got an idea for the most fun thing we can do. And basically, we start at the end of the road. We get in the wagon. Somebody pushes. Like, there's two of us in the wagon together. We got a pilot and a co-pilot. And there's like the handle,
What's a co-pilot
and you
gonna do?
you can sort
Scream
of
fuck.
you can sort of like kind of steer it with the with like
The
the
handle,
handle.
yeah.
Yeah, it would like go up and like you
Yeah,
can hold on to
yeah.
it. And a third person is pushing us, and we go like straight down the thing. And we're like, yeah, and we like just fucking slam into the tree and like fall out and eat shit. And that was what we were trying to do. We were just trying to see how hard we can hit the tree.
I've done shit like that.
Yeah.
I ran into
Like,
a
there was
door
no
multiple
other-
times.
There was no other goal. There was no like other like maneuver to do. We were just aiming for the tree each time.
Hell, in middle school, you remember West Middle, how they had that big ass hill?
Yeah.
Me and my good friend Logan Crocker would just suicide jump down the hill.
Yeah.
We jump, let our legs fail, and just tumble down the hill. For I don't fuck knows what reason.
I just remember I would always try rolling down that hill while holding like a cup of something, just to see how much I can keep by the end of the hill.
Here,
See
let,
what-
Let me tell my two stories. I've been interrupted
Okay,
three
mine's
separate times.
mine's real quick.
No, that's
It's-
what everybody
but
says.
So guys, did you hear my story about
mine's
damn
mine's
it.
real quick and relates to that to the hill thing because during recess, I had a group of friends, like about 10 of us or so, and we always play vampire tag, which is like you tag like
you
there's
tag
one
each other
person.
and then fuck each
Yeah,
other. We've all played vampire tag.
There's one person and then they tag
What
someone.
is
and
your
now
life,
there's two-
Josh Yaskovich?
A montage of pain and confusion.
There's a reason he's called Trashkovich.
You like that, Liam?
Like yeah. So we're playing it, and the dick of the group, the asshole that no one likes, would always like at the beginning of the game go straight to the top of the hill, wait there, and then like you would see like a bunch of kids who are just like climbing the hill and like running at first and then getting tired as they get to the top and be like and as soon as they get to the top, within like reaching distance, is when him fully rested just runs like back down the hill, and they're like, "Go fuck yourself." Okay, now you can.
All
try
right,
your
so
thing.
my two stories. The one remind me of your skateboard story. The one and only time I really ever rode a skateboard. My parents got me a Rocket Power one for Christmas.
I love Rocket Power.
And then like months later when it got.
Oh, I just realized you meant like one with like the design of the show and not like an actual rocket attached to it.
Guys,
because like
now I see how like the falling down the stairs.
The reason I thought of that is because when I first got the skateboard, and I would always like fall off when I like stood on it, I would just sit on it and ride it down the road.
yeah. We all did that.
Yeah.
But, like,
so I thought you meant like you had some like that had like a motor or something.
No.
It was like rocket power, but in reality
it was just it's just Rocket Power underneath.
Remember those Razor motor scooters?
My next story.
That's
is
what
that,
I was thinking.
My next story is that. So I got one of those, and like I was like, oh yeah, I got the helmet and the pads, and everything. I'm like, yeah, Rocket Power. I kick off on it. Immediately, like it's like one of those where like you just like fall face forward and you kind of like slid on your face and like hit these, like you know when you like hit your knees and they get all scraped.
Yeah.
So like my face, so like I did that like the side of my face, like the skin came off and like on my knees.
That's
and
gross.
and I was like, fuck this. So before I went home and cried, I picked it up. It broke. Thank you. It broke because of that. Because it was a shitty skateboard. I threw it into a creek, and it's still there today. And so the next one...
It mocks you every time you go
It
by.
does. So, and the next one, I was riding a Razor scooter with my friend, my neighbor. We're going down the hill. We always did this. And, like, I saw this car that was parked on the side of the road. Like, you know, you've been on my street. Where it kind of goes, like, downhill.
I know.
So, like, I see it, and there's, like, this little gap there. So I'm like, I'm gonna be so cool and like maneuver it like I'm in an X-wing or whatever the fuck. I go in between it, and I didn't realize it was moving, so they were like turning into it. So the car just fucking hits me. Like I'm like 11 years old, so like you know I did like your tumble down the stairs. Like they hit me and I tumble off like down the hill a bit, and it's this young couple. I think they still live on my street. They come out and like, oh my god, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. And like
hiding the tears.
My whole thumb is like fucked up. Like it's broken. Like and so like I'm like
I'm the same way.
I'm like I'm fine. And so like I pick up my Razor scooter and I run home. Like I tell you not, this is how that went. I ran home.
Dumb Josh run.
I'm like, I'm okay, I'm fine, bye. And so like I go home, and for like the next 3 days, I don't even tell my parents that it's fucked up. So like one day, like the day 3, like my thumb is just swollen, and my mom's like, "How'd that happen?" And I was like, "I got hit by a car." And she's like, "What do you mean you got hit by a car?" And then they took me to the hospital, and it was all fine. It was just fucked up.
It just reminds me of the time I lariated myself on a mailbox.
What?
Tell us.
Like the wrestling move, like the lariat, where it's like a clothesline.
Yeah.
I did that when I did have a bike when I was younger. I was just like, yeah, going as fast as I can down my course, like, yeah, and I would like ride up on like that little what is it, the slope that before it goes into everybody's driveway. I would go up that like a little bit, yeah. And then one time I went up, I'm like, that's a mailbox. I'm like, I just laid there for a bit, and the mailman saw me, and he went, "You good?"
Well, here's your mail, and he just throws it at you.
He didn't help me.
Like
just
he
kept
crumpled
going.
it up. He's like, "Here's your fucking mail."
By the way, they're kicking you out of your house. So
He
anyways,
spits on you.
It's your third eviction notice.
I had
Here's those bills you're not paying, you shit kid.
I was a skateboard wannabe as a kid too, and I remember when I was like 10 or 11. This is probably the moment where I should have realized I actually have a really high pain tolerance.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, I was a massive puss and never wanted to get hurt. But I had a little ramp and a skateboard. I'm like, all right, fine. I'm gonna finally do it. Usually I just ride around and be annoying. I'm gonna drop in and try to actually do some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to the top of the ramp. I'm getting ready to drop in. Immediately eat shit.
Of
Like
course.
you said, face first.
Yeah.
Scraped up everything.
Yeah.
And I just remember getting up, going, nah, and like walking inside with my skateboard, sitting down. My dad looks at me and he goes, "What the hell happened?" And I didn't look at myself, and I finally looked down, and like I am scraped up, my entire body, and just like bleeding. It's like I fell.
I fell.
And he's just like, we just got here.
Oh
It
god.
was bad.
So we were all fuck ups.
Well, if we're including the few first 10 minutes or so, which
Okay.
was kind of a shit show, that'll probably be cut down.
Gotcha.
I'd say maybe we use 5 minutes of that, so maybe about 5 more minutes of talking, and then we should be good.
Did you guys? All right. So I know we're all emotional fuckheads, but did anyone ever have a traditional bully where they would beat you up literally, not emotionally, but physically?
My brother,
My cousin.
my older brother.
Yeah, your cousin. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
There was just a brief moment in middle school where this kid would just shove me into the locker every day as if it was his ritual. Ryan, you remember him? Ginger kid? Dumber than a piece of shit.
You're my friends now.
The closest to I ever got in a fight was with him. He was.
Oh, cool.
It was 6th grade, and we were watching a movie. I just want to interrupt because you'll appreciate this.
Okay.
We were watching a movie in homeroom because of some fucking good boy points or whatever. I don't know what the fuck.
Good boy in the boiler room.
Where the fuck did you go to school? On a cult?
But anyway,
It's
pretty much.
if you reach the first level of good boy, then
You'll reach OT3.
Anyway, we're watching whatever movie in homeroom, and I actually want to see it. I'm just watching this movie. I had a long day. I'm in 6th grade. Life's hard. I want to see this fucking movie.
Yeah.
And he comes up wearing a stool. He put himself in a bar stool, and he was drumming in my face. I'm like, hey, move. I'm watching this. Hey, move. I'm watching this. And he keeps doing it. He's like, what are you gonna do? So I grab the stool and I shake him, and then I throw him into the wall with it.
Yeah.
And then he tumbles and he's stuck and he can't move because he's got a fucking stool on him and he's freaking out. And the teacher is like, Liam, Ryan, get over here. So I walk over, I'm like, I'm gonna go to the office for this asshole. And he takes 20 minutes to get out of the stool, and he walks over kind of hurt. It looked like he was on the verge of tears. He was being a little dickbag.
Yeah.
She goes, I saw all of that. I know what happened. Ryan, go to the office. Liam, calm down.
Oh!
Sucks to suck, bitch.
Those are the best teachers.
Oh, that's great.
All right, your thing.
Oh, yeah, no, he
You
was
made
just...
out with this guy?
No,
right?
no, he shoved me into a locker
Oh,
all
okay.
the time and just he's a puss, and I'm just like, whatever, I'm just not gonna... But then one time he decided to do it in front of his friends just to make himself seem cool or whatever, so I knew he was gonna push me into the locker because it was like clockwork for this guy, so I just spun around and decked him in the chest, and he was just out of breath, and he fell on the ground. I'm like, alright. I just left.
What a piece of shit.
My one...
It was the funniest thing for me because I saw him just like, oh, and I'm like, alright, cool, nobody's gonna mess
in
with
high school, he
That
stopped being a
sounds
dick. He was
hilarious.
just high all the time.
There, I'm glad he's self-medicated. my one and only no, I have a few retaliate bully stories. The one I
You
think
look
I've
like you would. Have a lot of bullies, I mean.
Oh, thanks.
Look at you.
I never really had.
Thanks, Zach.
I never really had schoolhouse bullies.
You know
but my
I would
brother
kick
kicked
your
the shit
ass.
out of
I know
me.
you would fight me.
But anyways,
I'd watch.
so
My
I
buddy's
think
on
I've,
Zach, honestly.
I think I've told you this one. I was this is middle school, same grade when I cut my finger like an asshole. I had a Beatles hoodie that I wore all the time.
Oh, yeah, you told me this story.
Yeah, and there's this kid Dylan. Yeah, thanks. You sound like Dylan. This kid Dylan. He's
Kick your ass, nerd.
he's helping the teacher wipe off the chalkboard. We were at Sykesville. Yeah, we still had chalkboards because the place was a piece of shit. And so he comes over to me with the little eraser and he's rubbing it on me. I'm like, dude, stop. And he's like, what are you gonna do, faggot? And I'm like, you better stop. And I'm thinking I don't want to hit him because he could kick my ass. But I need him to stop because I love the Beatles. And so he does it. and I just deck him in the face, and his whole lip, like right here, fucking bleeds. And what was great was Mr. Perry, he just sees like Dylan all pissed, and he's like, all right, everybody settle down. So there was no consequences, and like we all had to sit back in our seats. So he's just pissed, like he's looking at me, he's like, give me the finger, and I'm like, oh yeah, I felt so cocky about it, and then he moved, and like in that week he moved, and like I think I'm more.
He probably went home and was like, Mom, we need to change school. I'm being bullied.
Fine, we're going back to Utah. God damn it!
Every time, Dylan. No. I'm sure, like, he was moving, like, to begin with, and, like, it was just coincidence. But in my mind, I was like, I made a bully move. And then my other one was, there was this kid named Kenneth Zamora, who were alright on good grounds now. But, like, he would really bully me in middle school. And, like, one day, it was, like, an art, and I loved art class, because that was the time where I could just, like, listen to music and, like, draw. And so he's bothering me and, like, you know, throwing shit at me. So I kick him really hard in the shin, and, like, he, like, tattles, and I had to go to the office, and so that was just kind of like our relationship. We were like, I was USA and he was Russia. So then fast forward to high school, he's just being a bitch out of nowhere. Like, we hadn't talked to each other, and we had the same class, and then he starts like pushing me about something. And this was like, this kid was like a taller Brooks. Like, he was
so
pushing,
pathetic.
He was pushing this fat kid in high school who was clearly like bigger than him, and he was just a taller Brooks. So I grab him by the shoulders and I throw him to the fucking ground. And, like, Miss Naper's like, all right, stop horsing around, because she doesn't realize we're fighting. And, like, he just looks up at me, and I'm like, it was like a movie. I was like, this is your chance. Like, I'm going to help you up. If I help you up, we're done with each other, and we're not talking to each other. But if you fight me, like, I will kill you. Like, not because I have more strength, but because of pure weight. And so then he just does that thing, like...
I will lay on you.
Yeah, he just does that thing like a douchebag character does in a movie. He just bats my hand away, gets up, and then that was it. So I won. I won, Zach. I won.
I think I've had my fair share.
Never forget.
Yeah,
actually.
I ripped off my necklace.
Oh fuck! I didn't bring it again.
I believe you.
No, it's one of the. It's like one of the. It's like the exact same color.
I think you have a bully now, and his name is Josh Yaskovich.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
It's because I've got problems at home, and I want you to love me, and I don't have any friends.
Anyway, I'm sure in my life, I'm sure. Well, yeah, I've done my fair share of teasing people, but it was in like elementary school and very early middle school, and the guilt got to me so bad I ended up apologizing to anyone that I was ever mean to and being like really, really, I guess almost condescendingly nice to them.
So you
Sounds
now?
like Liam.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here today.
Oh.
Welcome to AA for bullies.
Because what Zach won't tell you is I kicked his ass every day.
Oh no, it was between us, Liam.
Did you really?
No.
Oh, I wish.
He thought I hated him, but I never, ever, ever had an issue with Zach.
Yeah,
too.
I was like, man, Liam's too cool to like ever talk to.
Liam's too cool.
I thought Liam was
He's too
cool.
cool of a guy.
I thought he was cool in middle school.
I wasn't.
I don't think
I was
anybody
a
was.
huge
No one
loser.
And then you hung out with Logan Crocker. He just looks like a Neanderthal, so I just thought you were bad by association.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that.
Yeah.
Nobody fucked with me because I hung out with Logan.
Yeah, no, but like now knowing Logan, I'm like, oh, he's a nice guy. But I thought back then, just from appearance
Yeah.
alone, I was like, he's gonna have rape for dinner.
Well, yeah, we would
Oh my God.
also always wear like the metal shirts and stuff. Yeah.
No, it was just the jutting forehead.
He's gonna have
Fucking Neanderthal.
He looked like one. It's so funny.
That dude was goofy as hell.
For
Yeah.
me, like, I didn't have a lot of physical bullies, mostly just people who called me names, and it hurt.
Like Brooks.
Shut
Yeah.
up, Brooks.
Yeah.
Savage Brooks.
But the two big examples
He has a
of
lot of bullies
people of yeah, I do. It's called my friend group.
and your dad
Yeah, and my
This
team.
podcast has been brought to you by
by bullies.
You got nothing. The two main physical bullies that I had were one, my cousin, which I already vented about.
Yeah.
I shared my vendetta with him.
Yeah.
Did your dad ever ask you about that?
I told you guys. Simultaneously at the exact same time of day, it was like middle of the day. I was like in class or something, and I just got a text from both my dad and my older sister, like, "Wanna wrestle?"
Did you wrestle them? Did you win?
I told them, it's just like, excuse me, it's pronounced wrestle.
Do you want to wrestle?
That's great.
And
that's
then-
fun.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
awesome.
and then when I got home, I talked to them about it, and my dad felt bad that I kind of had the brunt of the bullying from that guy. Because I won't divulge it because it's like family stuff, but we've had some problems with that guy. Like his parents have had some problems with him.
Is he like that one family in the extended family who's like, oh yeah, she's got 5 kids, each of them have a different dad, and you're not gonna
No.
She's also 13.
We have relatives like that.
No, it's like a good family. It's just that one had some problems.
So it's like that John Oliver joke where he's like, every family's got that one kid, and if you're thinking to yourself, oh, we don't have that one, it's you.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, and then the only other really physical bullies, funnily enough, were when I was in preschool. I went to like a preschool daycare type of thing. And there were all the kids there would just beat the shit out of me like constantly.
Makes sense.
Jesus
I have a like a faint like line on my face. I wouldn't even call it a scar, but like a line and everything. No, it's like
Stop, Brooks. He doesn't
and then
care.
he just punches you in the face.
But I don't remember if that's from a pencil or just someone like clawing at my face.
Kids with a knife.
No, like literally, a kid tackled me and like dug into my skin with something.
Jesus
and everything.
Christ.
And the other, like, I remember another time, like the kids like held me down and one like literally like stomped on my hand and everything.
Jesus.
And I went to like the people in
What
charge.
were you wearing?
Thanks, Zach. Thank you.
I was just wearing my normal swastika shirt.
Thank you for your contributions. Anyway, I went to the counselors or whoever was in charge. I was like, hey, these people, like all the other kids, they hurt me, and they're just like, we don't care. Literally,
smoking a cigarette. I was like, yeah, deal with it.
they said that, and then like when I finally told my mom about it, like because I was so young, I think I might have thought that's just how the way the world works. So I might have just like casually brought it up with my mom, and then she was not happy.
Yeah.
If nothing else, my mother is. When I was younger, my mom was super protective of me, probably because of this. And then she like basically moved me from that preschool thing to another one after she had many words with the people running that place in person.
My mom was the exact same.
Yeah. So that was my story.
Anyway, when I was in 5th grade, they fuck these fucking kids. A kid I thought was my friend.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote up a list of like a petition of sorts of who thinks Liam should kill himself.
What?
And about 75% of my 5th grade class signed it.
What? Hold on. What grade was this?
5th.
Jesus.
Holy
I was
Christ.
dead.
Children are awful.
So this is how Columbine happened.
That's why I don't sign petitions anymore.
Not since the Zach. Not since the Zach petition went around. He's done.
Petitions. Yeah, but they call me into the guidance. They're like, "Is everything all right?" I was like, "Yeah, it's fine. Why wouldn't it be?"
Yeah,
oh yeah, and I was like,
it.
"Oh, it was just my friend. It was a joke." And they're like, "That's not the kind of thing you joke about." I'm like, "Shut up."
What year was this?
5th.
No, yeah, but like, give me a year. I don't know
Fuck,
what
that
it
was 2005,
All right,
2006.
so we were still in the wave of Columbine.
I think now's about a good time.
I just got Gus Van Sant's movie Elephant, and I want to watch it tonight. All right.
On Twitter,
so Columbine is
Snowballs,
on
or
there.
at Squeezy McCheesy, at 100 Years, the email at 100 Years. There's still the pube on the table.
Okay, guys. If you want to listen to us, you can find us on SoundCloud, where the episodes go up every single Sunday night. And then they go up on the YouTube channel the following Monday night. On the YouTube channel, you can find videos like the highlights. Hi, Josh's Snapchat. You can find stuff like the highlights and like all the episodes and all that other shit.
The Snapchat you sent me. I want to see what that was you were working
Yeah,
on.
it's in the latest highlight, so you can just watch the highlight. And,
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It was just a short part of that. And yeah, like Zach said, we got the Twitters, we got the email, brooksandzach100years@gmail.com. We got all this stuff. And, you can find us on iTunes, give us a review, rating, subscribe. It all helps the show grow, spread around. And, yeah, I think plugs-wise, that's pretty much it. So, Zach, would you like to do the same sign-off you always do?
Same sign-off that's done as it's always done. As you feel a sudden stop, you can feel every inch of your body, every pore just exuding a redness. A redness that that is not pain. It is not pleasure. It's just all your worries and your despair just oozing out. Slowly but surely, all feelings of doubt is just bubbling out from within you. And then they congeal and make a layer around yourself. You are just like an onion with multiple layers. And as this realization comes to you, you look at your own oniony hands and say, Brooks and Zach, 100 years.
You're like a cult leader.
Kill all bullies.
See ya.
I want to run a cult.